Welcome to the Illuminator Getting Started series. This video is on creating a project file with the D4. So in front of your screen you'll see that there's a UI session from the D4. So if you URL to that D4 you can see this UI. On screen you'll see I'm centered at 1300 megahertz and the span is set to 15 megahertz. So we're going to try to capture this carrier, but before we do, we like to see what the band power is. So we're going to turn on some markers, a delta marker here. And we're going to drag to the left edge on one marker and the right edge on the other, and you can see this band power is set to about -20. So let's go ahead and add a new measurement, and we'll call this one measurement 1300. You can call it anything you want, but just for simplicity I'm going to use the same center frequency. So here we'll get -20 as our nominal value, and we'll accept the default tolerance power, and you can see on the left edge we've got a measured carrier here that or 1300 that's stored. So now we're going to go over to the next carrier and repeat the same process. One at 1400 megahertz, and in this case the span is a little bit off, so we have to increase the span a little bit to 30 megahertz. There's our carrier. We'll go in and add another set of markers, marker 2, same thing, make it delta, drag one to the left edge and the other one to the right edge, and that gives us again about -20 on the nominal band power. So we'll go and add that measurement. So this one again is at 1400. Band power will do -20 again. And this time we'll make a default of ±5 to tighten the tolerance. And the last measurement is at center frequency 1700. So we'll go ahead and move over to that. And you can see that we're at 1700. The span looks good again. So we'll go ahead and add another set of markers, marker 3, as a delta marker again dragging the one marker to the left edge and the other marker to the right edge. And this time we have about a -16 dBm of band power. So we'll go ahead and add carrier at 1700, call that 1700. And make a band power. You can see there's still a number of other analyses that you could add. You can add more than one if you so chose. And the results of the measurement are ANDed together. So you can have one that passes, another one fails. The whole measurement will be marked failed. So -16 here again. And we'll set the default. So here we've got 3 measurements ready to go to be configured and used, and we're going to save that and we're going to export that to a project file, and we'll call this 3 carriers and click OK, and down it'll pop open in a browser and into an editor. You can see the default settings here for the decimator are there in the current state. We're not interested in that. We have some stored traces, which we haven't any. We've got some markers. We're not really interested in that, but in the case of the Illuminator we want to get down to the measurement section and in the carriers. So the carrier monitoring, we have some default analyses here. And then here come the measurements. So we have an array of measurements. This one named 1300 with the analyses and the state that's there, the center frequency span and so forth. And then that repeats itself again for the second carrier at second measurement at 1400 with this default analysis that are required. For, in this case, just a single analysis. Band power, again, it's all of its settings. And then the last one at 1700, and then the same thing, this analysis and the settings. So hopefully you enjoyed that. We're going to use this project file in the D4 for input into the Illuminator. If you can do the same thing with the D3, and it'll create a project file in XML format. So both can be used. So hopefully you enjoyed that video, and we're going to go on and use this in the next one. Thanks very much for watching, and hopefully you enjoy and join us for the next one.